Hey there, if you're watching this, I'm guessing you might have gotten a notice that your unemployment claim is under review. And yeah, that can be really stressful. But you're in the right place. We're going to walk through this whole process, which is called adjudication. It's way more common than you think, and our goal here is to make it make sense so you know exactly what's happening. So let's just dive right in, starting with the number one question on your mind.
This is the big one, right? You filed your claim, you're doing your weekly certifications, but suddenly the payments either stop or maybe they never even started. Well, seeing your claim status as pending adjudication is the reason why. It just means the unemployment agency has a question about your eligibility, and by law, they have to get it sorted out before they can pay you.
So what even is adjudication? Honestly, the best way to think of it is a fact-finding mission. And this is important. It is not a denial. It's just a pause. A neutral specialist, who they call an adjudicator, is simply investigating a specific question or an issue on your claim. The whole point is just to make sure that benefits are going to the right people according to your state's laws.
All right, to make this super clear, we've broken the whole thing down into 5 parts. We'll start with what even triggers this process, look at the most common reasons it happens, walk through the investigation itself, and then finally, see how they actually make a decision.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning. This whole adjudication thing kicks off because something on your claim raised a little red flag. And in the world of unemployment, they call that flag an issue.
An issue isn't as scary as it sounds. It's really just a question that needs an answer. It could be something from your application, or maybe something your old boss reported. It's basically any situation that an adjudicator needs to look at a little more closely before they can give your benefits the green light. Now, pretty much all of these issues fall into 2 big buckets. The first one is separation issues, and that's all about why you're not at your last job anymore. The second bucket is non-separation issues, and these have to do with your eligibility from week to week after you've already started filing. So let's talk about the most common type of issue by far, your job separation. How you left your last job is one of the absolute biggest factors in figuring out if you're eligible for unemployment. Okay, this is a really important idea to get. It's called burden of proof. Think of it like a scale. If you quit your job, the scale starts tipped against you. The burden, or the responsibility, is on you to give them proof that you left for what the law considers a good cause. But if you were fired, that scale tips the other way. The burden flips over to your former employer. They're the ones who have to provide evidence that you were let go for actual misconduct.
But what if you were just laid off and you still have an issue on your claim? Well, that's where non-separation issues come in. These are questions that pop up while you're claiming benefits each week, and they're all about whether you're still meeting all the rules.
Let's use a simple, really common example. You don't have a ride. Say on your weekly claim form, you mention you don't have a reliable way to get to a job. Well, that could raise an issue, because one of the main rules is that you have to be able and available for work.
Now, the adjudicator won't just see no transportation and deny you. No way. They have to investigate. Was this something you could control, like a car that needs a simple repair? What did you do to try and fix the problem? Did you look up bus routes or check out ride sharing? And does this really stop you from taking a good job in your area? It's your answers to these questions that really matter. And that brings us right to the heart of this whole thing, the investigation. The adjudicator's job is to be a neutral fact finder, kind of like a detective. They're not there to take sides. Their only job is to get the facts from everybody so they can make a fair decision based on the law. So here's how it works. The agency is the one that has to start the investigation. They'll reach out to get your side of the story, and they'll also reach out to your old employer to get theirs. Now, this next part is super important. If your employer tells them something that's different from what you said, the agency must give you a chance to see that information and respond to it. That's not just them being nice, that is your legal right.
There's a federal rule that says adjudicators have to get evidentiary facts, not just conclusions. What on earth does that mean? It's actually simple. They need the specific, concrete details of what happened, the who, what, when, and where. They can't just go on someone's opinion or a vague summary.
Here's a perfect example. Saying, I was fired for misconduct, that's a conclusion. An adjudicator can't really use that. What they need is the evidentiary fact, the specific thing that happened. I was 15 minutes late to my shift on Monday. See the difference? Their job is to get those specific facts, and then they decide if those facts actually add up to what the law calls misconduct. This is why being specific is your best friend in this process. Okay, let's get to the final step. All the facts have been gathered, the investigation is done, so how does this all come together into a decision? So here's the final playbook. The adjudicator takes all those facts, from you, from your employer, and they weigh them.
Then they take your state's specific unemployment laws and apply them to those facts. Based on all of that, they issue an official written decision that explains why they made the call they did. And it will also tell you what your appeal rights are.
So, look, I know it can feel like a slow and frustrating process, but try to remember, the whole goal here is to make sure every decision is fair and based on actual facts. It's a system that's designed to be impartial. The most important thing you can do is participate fully and give them the most specific, factual information you possibly can. That's what will make all the difference.